Hello, everyone. Welcome to the What's Left podcast. I'm John here with Jake and Brad. We are the punk rock garage band of podcasts here on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Boys, it was a rough day for President Trump. His ceasefire, despite him declaring it loudly at the top of his lungs with his caps lock on, didn't take hold. As we talked about going on air last night, it was still bombings going on, missiles flying. Nobody got the message. It turns out you can't just scream ceasefire and make ceasefires happen. So he woke up in a pretty pissed off mood this morning. But before we get into it, please do like and subscribe here on YouTube. Check in at our Substack. It is free to subscribe there. We also have a paid subscription option, which would help us out tremendously if you can. We can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, guys. So after he woke up this morning, our fearless leader started firing off bleats in the vein of Vladimir's stop. The first one was Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. My first takeaway from this first one is like, why do you have to remind people that you're like? Are you that disrespected that you must remind people that you are the president of the United States?
Dude, it reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when Captain Holt signs his text messages. Sincerely, Raymond Holt. Sincerely, Captain Raymond Holt.
He still signs his things. Jake,
Hmm.
what was your initial reaction to plane waves? Have you ever had a plane do a friendly wave at you?
No, can't say that I have.
Yeah.
Like
I'd
Donnie,
love
you're the
screaming into the void of Twitter, though. You want to deploy across.
Yeah, that's where the plane waves happen.
Yeah.
Donnie, you're literally the only person that uses True Social, brother. They know that it's you.
No, literally no one reads it. There's accounts on fucking Twitter that repost the True Social posts that get reposted to social media that people actually use. Like
Right.
that is the genesis, and that is where we get the only important communication from the president of the United States. Because when he's out in front of the cameras, he is just full of bullshit. At least Bush had the fucking common decency to sit down and lie to our faces while sitting at the Resolute desk. You know, he tried to at least make it look official. Trump can't even buy. He's on his way to a fucking golf tournament. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so he sends out another one. This one is just caps lock solid. There's not a single lowercase letter in it. It says, Israel, do not drop these bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, again. Again. What the fuck? Well, Israel did not. They did not do any of that. Nobody is listening to this man. None of this has anything to do with him. As it stands right now, the ceasefire is holding in as much as that nobody's bombing anybody uh, currently. I could be wrong, actually, because things change minute to minute over there. But what's very clear is that this man has no control over it. And I think you guys know where I'm going from there. Because later on, as he was getting into his airplane, yeah. Oh, man. You know, it turns out for all their fucking shit talking on government employees, it's not easy. The job is hard. Sometimes you have to work. You can't just play golf all the time. That's what a real job is. And President turns out is a real
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, we'll just apologise for that language from the US President Donald Trump, who was speaking to reporters.
Yeah. Quick reminder that's, people in other countries get to see this fucking clown show.
President Donald J. Trump. Fucking
President
idiot.
of the United States of America. Fucking God. Yeah. Welcome to the reality, Donnie. Like it's you don't bomb Iran. Like that's just not what you do. Like no president has fallen for Netanyahu's shit quite as deeply as you. Like even Dick Cheney who like literally spent his entire career building this thing. Like he would come if I'm surprised he probably is coming back from the grave to witness this because this is what he always wanted was war with Iran. And he never got it because even George W. Bush was smarter than that. And that, my friend, is a bit scary because George W. Bush was known for a lot of things. His mental acuity was not one of them. Never. Not once. He was known maybe the opposite of that. He's best known for being really good at dodging shoes and fumbling things and a giant mission accomplished banner on a fucking cruise or on a destroyer about 3 days after the war started, and then it lasted another 20 years, which is pretty much the same situation we're in after you declared victory last night. Fox News has been nonstop trying to give this man uh, Nobel Peace Prizes. They had a full-on discussion today about whether or not he belongs on Mount Rushmore.
An actual
Buddy
discussion
Carter.
about that.
Say it again.
There was an actual discussion about him being on Mount Rushmore.
Yes, that was a real discussion with a whole. They even wrote a Chiron about it.
Well, the parks are closed, so who's going to go see it?
Jake, logic like that has never stopped a MAGA movement before.
Buddy
Never.
Carter is a member of Congress, and he nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize today.
Yes, fantastic. Days after, so he was nominated by Pakistan. I don't know, maybe 3 days ago, and they withdrew his nomination today. So he was briefly nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize by Pakistan, who was trying to kiss his ass. They also bought a bunch of his crypto. Surprise, more corruption. But yeah, even that wasn't enough for them. It was too much bullshit. So they decided to withdraw his nomination. So now he is nominated by Buddy Carter, who I'm not sure is. Can anybody just do that? Can I nominate? I nominate.
Yeah, you could be.
Yeah, let's give Brad a Peace Prize. Brad, will you give
Yes.
Peace a chance?
Oh, I would love to give peace a chance.
That's good enough for me. I'm
Put
in.
me on a global stage and let me turn it upside down.
Do it. Do it. So
It's why they won't let me win the lottery. When it gets to $1 billion, it's why they don't let me win, because they know that I will fuck shit up. You give me that kind of money.
That's true. It's a full conspiracy.
Oh, I will tear it all down. I will tear down the whole fucking thing. We'll start over.
Bro, you might I think someone's already living your dream in the White House. So anyway, we go from that to tonight. Like I said, things are pretty quiet right now. But a New York Times report confirmed a CNN report that actually the thing about obliteration is it's in the eye of the beholder. And obliterated is pretty strong for the damage that was done. And I felt confident reporting that last night without the intelligence because it's just so goddamn predictable. And for me, it was enough to know and see the satellite photos that that didn't do it. Also, the point, with these decoy plans and shit and all this other fucking pageantry around the attack, he telegraphed it for every minute. He left the G7 summit and they said, and France tried to cover for him, but he's too stupid to take a fucking help. Fucking the France goes, oh, he's going to talk about a ceasefire. It's like, no, not a ceasefire. Something much bigger than that. So the whole world goes, oh my God, he's going to bomb Iran. Like nobody thought he left the G7 for anything other than that, other than maybe to like avoid talking to fucking Zelensky. So two things can be true at the same time. But yeah, the whole world knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. Everybody had its eye on the stealth bomber base. The whole world, nobody was confused. Not one person. Anyway, least of all Iran, who managed, according to most reports, and probably confirmed by this intelligence when it comes fully to light, that they had moved the uranium, which is about 10 car trunks full of uranium, is what they, and that is a significant amount. uranium. Doesn't sound like much, but it is. But it just also means that like it's impossible to eradicate an entire fucking nuclear program. They can totally have one with or without you. Like so. Yeah. Good job. Congratulations. Mount Rushmore for sure. First, the first thing that has to happen before Mac can put him on Mount Rushmore is someone has to point to North Dakota on the map.
Mhm.
Then they can have. Is it North Dakota or South Dakota?
I'm gonna Uno reverse that one on you, John. You pointed out.
Oh, I can't. Nope, not a chance. It's in that blob of like 17 people that control the Senate.
I'll give you a hint. It's the same shape as North Dakota.
Is it a square?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, now that makes it more confusing. There's just a whole fucking mess of squares up there.
It's literally right in the middle. Top is north, bottom is south.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I'm not trying to get anybody put on the mountain, so I don't really need to know. I ain't
Yeah, the
going.
funny thing is those people will never go there. They're like, put them on Mount Rushmore. And they're like, buddy, you don't even know where it is.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
Should we
No.
take one down and replace it, or like full add-on?
Oh, I mean, you could just go right over George Washington. Why not?
That's what he would prefer.
Yeah.
I think he'd prefer an erasure. Who's on there? I don't even know. Like Teddy Roosevelt, Lincoln, right? I think is Lincoln on there? I assume.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I would think that he would want to go over to Lincoln then, since his whole thing is destroying civil rights.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yep. He destroyed the Republican Party, civil rights. Yeah, he's definitely going to take Lincoln off the mountain. And that's the game plan. Also, the game plan.
It's Teddy, TJ, Abe Lincoln, and George Washington.
George W.
Not that.
No, George Washington, George W.
Damn.
Oh my God, that would be funny. That would be pretty funny. Strategery. The President of the United States, it was brought to my attention, has made a new post within the past couple of hours. I'm guessing maybe to honor the passing of Brian Wilson or the sadness of his failed fucking Iran mission. But anyway, either way, this is where the President of the United States is doing right now.
Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Throw some rocks. Tell the Ayatollah gonna put you in a box. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. The country's got a feeling really it's the ceiling. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Old Uncle Sam's getting pretty hot. Time to turn Iran into a parking lot. Bomb Iran.
You did not give me sufficient warning.
That is so bad. And the
That
fact that
is-
it has that many likes too, and they're eating that shit up. This is so good.
Yep.
Oh my
That
God.
song's gonna get a Pulitzer Prize.
I forgot about the visit the mosque and throw some rocks part.
Yep.
How?
Yeah, Donald J. Trump posted that to his social media.
He fully posted it. Like
Well,
Yep.
he didn't make it. He doesn't really.
his voice.
He just reposted it or shared it, whatever.
That just inflates his ego. That is insane.
That is. That's. I'm rarely speechless. Oh my fucking God.
That's the President of the United States of America. Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Trump.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
That is
There's just no decorum for the United States presidency anymore. There's like no class about it anymore.
no wonder nobody fucking listens to anything he's got to say. I
I'm so embarrassed. That made
I
me
Dude,
so uncomfortable.
yeah, that was like it was like one of the like the worst kind, like the reason The Office keeps coming up is because that's the feeling, this cringy, like, oh my God, you're making everyone so uncomfortable. And that's the whole thing. That's this entire presidency.
You see how many people shared it too?
yes.
No, no. I
27,000.
was too busy having my mind exploded from the inside out, trying to wrap my head around these lyrics and the fact the president of the United States of America re fucking whatever this video.
Right after he calls for a ceasefire.
Yeah, in the midst of his ceasefire,
Mm-hmm.
peace and love. Oh,
Hey, Jake, slide to your left a little. Better.
I'm speechless.
Were those the bombs that bounced off? Boom.
Yeah, yeah. No, the Fordo site is very, very deeply underground. Now, JD Vance says, whatever the fuck he wants to, all the time to make it and tries to make it sound intelligent. But he said now the goal was to bury them, to bury the underground uranium. So
Hmm.
good job,
Right, right,
well
right.
done, grade A. Fucking some social media was pretty good on this one too. Just in one school today, I took a screenshot. The first one says, "Thank you for your attention to this matter." Dementia J toddler. The next one says, "I have declared a ceasefire between Mario and Bowser. The Mushroom Kingdom is saved. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Update on the ceasefire. We basically have a dog and a squirrel that have been fighting so long and so hard they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that? Thank you for your attention to this matter. And it just went on and on and on like that all day today. So many ceasefires, so much peace. What a president.
What
What a
were anybody read the comments on the video?
no.
That's when you get into the nitty
No,
gritty.
I literally right before we recorded this, Brad told me that he had reposted it. I downloaded it, put it in the file, didn't look at it. That's the first I've seen.
It was like the TikTok unveilings, except for this one was about our president reposting a video about bombing another country.
Yeah,
That is insane.
yeah. Man, that's a game that he would have won. Holy fuck. What the fuck? All right. Anyway, so because of the illegal war, articles of impeachment were brought by Al Green, the cane waving congressperson from the State of the Union address. He brought these impeachment articles up and he tried to do it in a way that gave people who wanted to pretend to have principles about this war and, you know, stand up for something could do it. So he didn't include anything other than the illegal war. And it did not pass. It failed spectacularly. They had an opportunity to, messaging or not, whether it would have passed or not, you had an opportunity to say, this action was illegal. We're not going to put up with this lawlessness. Here we are. No Republican votes.
There was no way it wasn't. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Only 79 Democratic votes. That leaves 128 no votes, including Leader of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, who was being grilled on the I've Had It podcast today. And if you haven't seen it, there's a link on our threads. You should check it out because she grills the fuck out of him over all these things. And when it comes to be answering questions about AIPAC and Israel, I could have told you how this vote was going to go just by his fucking lame ass answer. Um, and yeah, there is a significant portion. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to get lost in this, and I don't want to make this a bigger deal than it is. Like, I don't want people to quit. I don't want people to feel like we need to quit or that there's not a fight. That's okay. Like, none of these things were popular when they started. Nobody was for civil rights when they started fighting for civil rights. Nobody was for gay marriage when they started fighting for gay marriage. It's a beginning. We have 79 of them. That's almost half. We have to keep pushing. But clearly, there is a fucking establishment, corporate, bought Democrat and Republican, but we're not going to worry about them because they're not our fucking problem. Democrats who are bought and paid for and will not be helpful. Like, we use them as much as we can, but we have got to concentrate on making sure that these people get primaried out of their positions and support progressive candidates like Zohran, like Deja Fox, like Kat. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But before we do, I would like to give you guys a chance to express your disappointment, anger, and whatever the fuck else you want to say about the 128 Democrats who voted no on their first chance to impeach Donald Trump.
Mine is seeing the amount of protest, and as a job working for the people, I thought this would be a pretty easy answer. Probably one of the easiest you'll make in your entire career, in my opinion.
Mhm.
To say no to this man for once. Do what the people want. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people feel it. It's what we're protesting for. Get him out. And they have the opportunity and they didn't. And that's our side,
Yep.
quote unquote.
Right. Well, we there was no chance of us getting him out on our own. We had to have some
Nope.
Republicans, which we didn't have. But the message could have been sent with a unified vote, and that's what didn't happen. And that's
We're not
crazy.
unified.
That's
No.
crazy.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right, Brad, what do you got?
Here's the thing, dude. America fucking loves war.
Mm.
They just love war. It doesn't matter what side they're on. These people in power, like you said, are funded by the APAC. They're funded by all these lobbyists, and war makes money. It just does. War makes money. So I'm not even the least bit surprised. I knew that there wasn't a snowball's chance in hell because the Democrats, like I said, are ran by money just the same as the Republicans, and our Democrats in office right now are currently spineless cowards who won't stand up to the regime. We're doing this all on our own. There's like everything that's happening, like you said, we're about to talk about Mandani, we're like all that, like this is all it's grassroots. Like it's not we are not relying on the people in Congress right now to help us because they're not. So when we're orchestrating millions of people in the streets to protest, I don't give a fuck about the Democratic Party because you either get with the people or get the fuck out.
Right.
And I knew they weren't going to do it because they need to be removed, and we need to put people in there that are actually for progress.
Right. We are for sure that the Republican Party is for regression. The Democratic Party claims that they want to be about progress, so we're going to have to make them be about it.
But
And
they're not progressive enough.
every possible way that we can, because they say that they want these things, but what they really want is they want to convince us to go back to a Clinton-esque status quo that allows this neoliberal fucking trickle-down economics thing to just continue to do its thing. And, you just pray that you get your piece of the pie. And if you ever make it, out of the fucking hole and into, multi-million-dollar land, you'll be a happy man, right? You won't have to pay nothing. Everything's going to be fine once you get to, you know, uh, American heaven. But just like real heaven, the reality is that people have to live here on Earth, and it's just not it's just not feasible for them, for any of us, for 60% of the country to live paycheck to paycheck. It's not fair. We are the wealthiest country on the fucking planet. We are the only country that harbors these fucking billionaires outside of, say, Russia, who has nothing to offer them. Nothing. Um, and so this is in our hands to stop. But we are fighting people with a lot more leverage and a lot more power than us, and it shows. Because, like you said, Jake, this should be so much energy from these protests, and if they
Mhm.
aren't feeling it, then they aren't fucking paying attention.
They don't care.
And it's not just these protests. Like, know that immediately people left their jobs, got in the streets to protest the war specifically. Specifically the war immediately on top of the No Kings protest. All over the country, random protests broke out over the war. Right? Crazy. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Everything this administration does is lawless. You just got to keep making noise. Keep making noise because it is bringing about change. Another person who was sent to El Salvador is being brought back, is being demanded to be brought back. So it is, things are working. There is progress. Stuff is happening. Politicians are still feckless. We have their phone numbers. I post them all the time. I send out the petitions, sign them, send them, keep fucking bugging them. This shit does work. It does work, and we will win. In New York City, there is a mayoral primary in the Democratic Party. And this is a fucking, I don't want to call it a microcosm. This is a macro of what is going on throughout the entire country. There is a push from people for progressive ideas, represented in a charismatic young politician in Zohran Windani. And the Democratic establishment, including my arch nemesis, Bill Clinton, and his fucking gang of neolibs, have endorsed a sex predator, Andrew Cuomo. So the man who cost New York City millions of dollars, who had to resign in disgrace, is being propped up by the Democratic establishment over Zohran Windani. I'm going to play this clip first. This is, well, you know what? This is better. I'm going to play Zohran first. So Zohran goes on the late night show with Stephen Colbert. And people are a little bit pissed at Stephen Colbert for asking this question. But as was pointed out on Majority Report with Sam Cedar, and I believe this, I think he asked to answer this question to this audience, to an old person audience. He probably asked to answer this question to them so that he could say it. And we haven't seen real politicians, good politicians, in a long time. So I want to remind people that there is a way to be a good politician. There is a way to not avoid answering a question, but to take an issue on and to make a counterpoint. And this is just absolute brilliance from Zohran, and we're going to play the clip from the...
Despite this being a New York City race, foreign affairs have become part of it, partly because this is such a multicultural city. And so I'll ask the same question to both of you. I'll start with you, Mr. Lander. Does the state of Israel have the right to exist?
I support the vision of Israel as a Jewish and democratic state.
Mr. Mamdani, same question. Does the state of Israel have the right to exist?
Yes, like all nations, I believe it has a right to exist and a responsibility also to uphold international law.
Okay, well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, is that there are many people in New York, even people who would support your candidacy otherwise, who don't want to support you because of the Jewish community's fear of the true and rising anti-Semitism, not only around the world, but in this country and shamefully in New York, which is the largest Jewish population of any city other than Tel Aviv in the whole world. And they are worried, they're very upset by some of the things that you've said in the past, and they are afraid that your mayorship would actually lead to increased anti-Semitism, that they believe that that would be more dangerous for them. What do you say to those New Yorkers who are afraid that you wouldn't be their mayor, that you wouldn't protect them?
You know, I know where that fear is coming from. It's a fear that is based upon the horrific attacks we've seen in Washington, D.C., in Boulder, Colorado. It's
all the way from Jews will not replace us to today.
And it's a fear that I hear also from New Yorkers themselves. You know, just a few days after the horrific war crime of October 7th, a friend of mine told me about how he went to his synagogue for Shabbat services, and he heard the door open behind him, and a tremor went up his spine as he turned around, not knowing who was there and what they meant for him. I spoke to a Jewish man in Williamsburg just months ago who told me that the door he left unlocked for decades is now one that he locks. And ultimately, this is because we're seeing a crisis of anti-Semitism. And that's why at the heart of my proposal for a Department of Community Safety is a commitment to increase funding for anti-hate crime programming by 800%. Because to your point, anti-Semitism is not simply something that we should talk about. It's something that we have to tackle. We have to make clear there's no room for it in this city, in this country, in this world.
And no justification for violence of any kind?
No, there's no room for violence in this city, in this country, in this world. And what I have found also from many New Yorkers is an ability to navigate disagreement. You know, I remember the words of Mayor Koch, who said, if you agree with me on 9 out of 12 issues, vote for me. 12 out of 12, see a psychiatrist. And I had an older Jewish woman come up to me at B'nai Jeshurun, a synagogue many months ago after a Democratic Club forum. And she whispered in my ear, I disagree with you on one issue. I'm pretty sure you know which one it is. And I agree with you on the others, and I'm going to be ranking you on my ballot. And I say this because I know there are many New Yorkers with whom I have a disagreement about the Israeli government's policies. And also, there are many who understand that that's a disagreement still rooted in shared humanity. Because the conclusions I've come to, they are the conclusions of Israeli historians like Amos Goldberg. They are echoing the words of an Israeli Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, who said just recently, what we are doing in Gaza is a war of devastation. It is cruel, it is indiscriminate, it is limitless, it is criminal killing of civilians. These are the conclusions I've come to.
Stephen, can I? Sure, please. I mean,
Boys, right? How good is that? That was a fucking masterclass in how to answer a goddamn question.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
what were you saying, Jake? I'm sorry.
I thought it was good.
Like, that's what you need. So they're like, hey, here's this problem. What's your solution? And then he did something crazy and was like, this is the solution.
Yeah.
And he actually talked about how to fix it. He did not put anyone down. He made it very clear that what is going on in Gaza is wrong. And his goal is to end hate crimes against everyone.
Yeah.
And he's doing it by increasing funding.
Yep. And the idea that he's going through is palatable as well. Like, and to be able to navigate that at the same time, I think it's pretty impressive. And man, like, he did not back down from his principles at all. He called it for what it was, and he brought it around. And I guess I'm told that the old people like the Mayor Koch and the rabbi that he brought up are something that old people would know and understand. And so, like, that the purpose of these questions wasn't necessarily like a gotcha. It was to give him an opportunity to speak specifically to the old person audience and let them know that he's not dangerous, I guess. But the Democratic establishment still insists on being the Democratic establishment. It's very frustrating, but it's nice to know, guys, that we're not the only ones that see this thing. This is from Pod Save America's episode.
And I watch what's
this
happening
morning.
there, and whether you like him, you don't like him, you agree with his policy, you don't agree with his policies, you're concerned about democratic socialism, or you love democratic socialism, you have to admit that what Mamdani has done is to build a very inspiring campaign that has energized young people for a mayoral race in a way in which no one has seen in a very long time. And people are excited about politics. And while that's happening, to have, like, you have seen this panic among the Democratic establishment, not just in New York, but outside of New York. You have there was the headline in Politico over the weekend, which is centrist Democrats freak out about New York mayoral race. You have all these centrist Democrats saying, this is going to cost us races and we can't have a democratic socialist. And our friends who we like and respect and work with at Third Way put out this memo about how radical democratic socialism. They're not taking a position on the race, but they're saying how bad democratic socialism is. Jim Clyburn, who's reaching down from South Carolina to endorse Bill Clinton, who is a New York resident, endorses Andrew Cuomo. And you have
his former HUD secretary.
But you have that we are creating, once again, the Democratic establishment is circling the wagons. You have a super PAC funded
around the worst candidate.
Well,
of all
I'm
of them.
going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. They're circling the wagons. They have a super PAC funded by billionaires, including Michael Bloomberg, who's put in more than $10 million in the super PAC, running just nonstop negative ads against Mamdani.
Yeah.
And he's about to fuck them.
Mamdani's
about to fuck them. 86% of the votes are in. He's up 43 to 36.
That's incredible. I hope he gets over 50% first time around.
And this shows us now twice in a row, we don't care about your fucking money anymore.
Right.
It happened to Elon in the Supreme Court. It's happening right now with Andrew Cuomo. Yep. We don't care about your fucking money. Fix this country.
Hear this shit, AIPAC. You can spend as much as you fucking want. If they continue to start every sentence with Israel has a right to defend itself, then you're going to lose elections. And it does not matter how much money you pour into them. No shit, Israel has a right to defend itself. When was the last time Israel was actually just outright attacked? When was the last time? Israel is bombing Yemen. Israel is bombing fucking Iran. Israel is leveling Gaza. Israel is annexed the West Bank. There is no other word for it. They have annexed the West Bank. They are the aggressor. They're not defending shit. And we are funding it. And we are fucking sick and goddamn tired of it.
They have free education, free healthcare.
Yeah.
And 90 atomic bombs. But shh, don't tell anyone that.
They are the only nuclear power in the region. Only. They do not get, it is literally no different than when Russia invades a country. It is the exact same thing. When Russia invades Ukraine, when Ukraine has no nuclear weapons, it's upside down, man, when it comes to Israel. And we're done with it. We're fucking done with it. And it's not just there in New York. We have other candidates as well. I want to introduce you guys to Deja Fox. She has not been on the show yet. So I want to, while we're on the topic, share this little video.
It's been really disappointing, but not surprising, to see the ways that establishment Democrats are putting their thumb on the scale in my race, the ways that they are failing not only to embrace leadership that could build our bench, but really trying to box me out.
It's no secret that I don't look like the other folks on the stage or in Congress, and that's because I'm not. We have seen young people go to apathy and to the other side, and it has everything to do with our inability to speak directly to them. 39% of adults under 30 here in the US get their news on TikTok, and yet I have been belittled by people on this stage for my presence on the platform, the ways that I have gone into the social media and new media spaces to talk to the future of our party. But I ask you, what party will my generation inherit?
I think a lot of the voters that I'm looking to connect with don't connect with establishment Dems or the folks that are in the party right now anyway. I feel like I got people power. I feel like people are excited about me in this campaign, and the momentum is on our side.
I said no one in my generation wants to follow these old people anymore.
Oh yeah. There's hope.
I saw her and I said, I'd vote for her.
Absolutely.
I have seen her before though. I have followed her. I follow her on TikTok.
Do you? Did you know that she was running for Congress before? Yeah. Before you started following her, or were you following her before she started running?
No, after I found out.
Okay. I was just curious. See, she was like started off there. But that's cool. I think she's great, and her story is great. Kat's great, and Zohran's great, and we're winning these fucking things. And people are showing up to Bernie and AOC rallies, and they sure as hell aren't coming out to see Chuck Schumer sign his goddamn stupid fucking book. So, and if they are, they're showing up to yell at him, as they fucking should. Remember, if you see Chuck Schumer in the streets, please scream at him at the top of your lungs. Resign, Chuck, resign. I told him 3 times today. Quit showing your face. Anyway, so one last thing I want to talk about is this other thing that's going on. I want to talk about the immigration stuff real quick, because everybody's friend of the pod and resident short man, Joe Rogan, he's having a fucking other spiritual awakening. And it does kind of speak to the fact, like, dude, if they had just gone on there and talked to him, they could have convinced him of anything. Like, you could tell this man that fucking the moon is made of cheese and 10 yards away, and he will start running toward it. Like, he's fucking, his brain is mush. He's just out here asking questions, bro. But he had a moment of clarity, I guess.
ICE raids are fucking nuts, man. Watching this protest on television, it's like,
you think the raids are nuts? All of it. Yeah.
I think both sides are taking it a little too hard. Well,
like, hold up. This shit, both sides are taking it pretty hard. There's no both sides. I don't give a rat's ass about no Waymo car. I care about the hundreds, maybe thousands of people who have been kidnapped off the streets and stuffed into vans by people who are wearing no uniform, fucking masks, look like goddamn bank robbers from the 1800s. That is my concern. Protests are not a concern. There is no both sides to fascism. There's fascism, there's not fascism. All right? You bald piece of shit. God fucking damn it. I'm trying. Listen. Ugh. We need him to have this awakening. We need everybody to have this awakening. Fuck him. God, I hate him. Ah, Jesus. Here, let's finish it.
I don't think if the Trump administration, if they're running and they said we're going to go to Home Depot and we're going to arrest all the people at Home Depot, we're going to go to construction sites and we're going to just like tackle people at constructions. I don't think anybody would have signed up for that. They said we're going to.
Where do you think they get the ICE agents from? That's literally what they signed up to do. They literally signed up to go to Home Depot and steal people. That's what they signed up for. They signed up for that exactly.
Get rid of the criminals and the gang members first, right? And now
First, you idiot. First. They wanted to start with them. There was always a plan to get rid of the rest of us. Fucking, like, you still not hear yourself?
we're seeing like Home Depots get raided. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, didn't we all know that was coming? Didn't we like very explicitly tell them it was happening?
You know, yes. Yeah, 100%. How do we, oh my God, dude. How do we navigate this? Because people are, obviously, this is bad. Like, it's really bad. It's inhumane. He has enough of a conscience, at least, to recognize that this is stupid. Even if he was too stupid to recognize before that that's exactly what it was telling him he was going to do. Once he saw it with his own eyes, he's having second thoughts. And that is encouraging. That is good. Bad people change. People make mistakes. Yada, yada, yada. I'm still pissed at him. I really am. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Is it like it's time to welcome them back into the fold? Maybe have to,
as you know, I think we need all of them.
Yeah.
I think we need everyone. I think that we need to be unified as a country to actually rebuild this country, but also you use the influence that you have to negatively impact so many Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at some point, there needs to be accountability for that. We will bully you later, but right now, we need everybody on the same team.
Jake, you want to bully him right now?
I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear from you first. I feel like you're probably gonna you might feel differently.
I do not want any part of this man to be on any part of the Democratic. I don't care if he's rallying people like that. It doesn't matter. He's doing it now because it's the popular thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is not coming out of a place of love.
No.
It is not coming out of a place of safety.
Nope.
It is coming out of for his own ass, his own bald ass.
Failed ratings.
Clean. It's not. I don't care. And he's talking to these people who are so, I don't even know, uneducated, I guess is a great way to say it. These young men who would rather just follow an opinion of an idiot sitting behind a fucking podcast chair who thinks he owns the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not a side we need. That's saying like we need the Republican. No, we don't. No. I don't think it. I don't like these people.
I guess, as usual, I see how you both. I understand exactly how you both feel, and I fucking hate him, and I don't care if he comes around or not. To be honest with you, I think that people who listen to him already are, and that's why his fucking ratings have plummeted, and I think that's why he's changing his tune. But I don't care why he changes it, because the more this message gets out, the better. That's what's important here. The fact that like people are hearing that this is bad from Joe Rogan is good. That's objectively a good thing. As far as like if he wants to come to the party, like I don't care. Like it's your business what you do with your vote. But I think that if he wants to have any sort of legitimacy, any sort of credibility, as a person who has made multitudinous, catastrophic mistakes in his life, you got to first take responsibility.
All I'm saying is, if I found out that you voted for Democrat, I'd be congratulations. But then I found out, oh, it's because Joe Rogan told me to. I'd still unfriend you on Facebook.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I feel like there's plenty of people who feel that way, and
that's my point.
And those feelings are valid. They are.
Go ahead and vote for us. That's great, but no.
Yeah, I from an objective position, it is great that that message is on Joe Rogan. It's objectively a good thing. I don't have to like him personally. I mean, I don't like Bill Clinton, but he votes the same way I vote, so
Right.
it's all right. I want to show you this one last video, and then we'll get out of here. So, this is a video of the man who is the father of 3 sons who are all in the military. And this is how ICE treated him.
¿Y por qué le pegas?
Yo estoy grabando.
I love the response by the people. Fuck those guys. Anyway, DHS secretary, fucking that evil bitch Kristi Noem, reposted a video that was going around on the right wing side, showing him running with his weed whacker in his hand, claiming that he was. You didn't see the whole context. He was attacking these ICE officers. Clearly, this man was running for his fucking life. There's no, it's unequivocal in the video, and they still ran with it. The Department of Homeland Security, which I was shocked this afternoon, but after having seen the Bomb Iran video, I guess that reflex is gone. That died. Another part of my soul is dead. But it's still fucking sick the way that they lie about this shit. And I'll be fucking frank with you. If you kidnap people with a goddamn mask on and you get hit with a weed whacker, good for you. You get what you get. I don't give a rat's ass. You know, you're not a law enforcement officer when you are fucking wearing a goddamn hood. You're just not. You can't identify yourself. You're not even supposed to. When you knock on somebody's door, a police officer is not supposed to be able to knock on someone's door without announcing that they're the police. Should they be able to fucking tear them out of their goddamn car while wearing a mask without a warrant, without any fucking probable cause other than the fact that person is a little bit darker than the fucking paint swatch that they've been provided by fucking Stephen goddamn Miller, who it turns out is invested to the tune of almost $250,000 in Palantir, who runs the fucking prison systems within the country that are operating these ICE raids. So he is personally benefiting from every one of these goddamn arrests. This is insane to me that this shit is happening. So yeah, good for you, Joe Rogan. You got to be a lot angrier than that too. And the protesters, I don't understand how there's what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Anything at all? I mean, and what I told you is a story of one person. One. This is happening in every city across America every single day of the week. It's an unforgivable tragedy. This country will pay the consequence for all of these things for years to come. You know, I don't know. I just wanted to get that out because it's good that this stuff is breaking through, but we got to keep talking. You just can't have people kidnapped off the street like this. It's absolutely absurd. You guys got any thoughts on immigration real quick?
I think that it's truly insane that this is the way we're going about it instead of just offering them immigration status.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
That man should clearly have amnesty.
Yeah, by all means, please get the criminals out of our country All of them. I don't care what color they are. Like I don't give a shit who they are. If they're criminals, probably get them. Deal with them accordingly.
Yeah.
But like you're doing this to like a father of 2 active duty Marines.
Right.
That's nuts.
It's estimated there's about 10,000 criminal migrants in this country, and they've arrested 100,000 people. So those numbers, it is literally between 80 and 90% innocent people getting swooped up in this thing. Also, the Party of Family Values allowed a woman child who was 5 months pregnant, 4 or 5 months pregnant. They allowed her child to die in ICE custody, her future baby, or whatever you want. Yeah, she was pregnant still, so it was a future baby. They allowed him to die in custody because they refused her treatment. She needed medical attention. They refused it. She lost her child. So, good job. Congratulations. Super big war plans, super big bombs, being a real tough guy, fucking with veterans' fathers. Yeah. Congratulations to the Republican Party on being truly one of the most evil regimes in modern history. At least you'll be famous. That's all we got.
That's true.
That's all the time we have. Is there anything you guys want to add before we quit?
I don't think so. Shout out Mom Donnie. Let's go, buddy. You got this.
Yeah.
Please
Let's
let
go,
progress
Zoe.
win.
Yeah. I wanted to inject a little bit of hope with those videos. We've got there's good people out there, and it only takes some of us. We can push this tide. We can keep fighting. We can make this thing happen.
And they're both young enough to still have color in their hair.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. I think Deja is 26 and Nandani is 33.
That's crazy. That makes me
Yeah.
feel like a failure, man. That's crazy. 26?
Jake, say the word. Say the word, and we will run you for office tomorrow. Absolutely. So, anyway, until next time, check us out, like and subscribe. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. You can buy a t-shirt to help support the cause at derealizationnation.com. That's derealizationnation.com. Just throw it out there to whoever's listening. You can enter code what is it? FDT 8647 for 25% off. That's FDT 8647 for 25% off. Check it out. Check our store out. Support us if you can. Listen, either way, we don't care. We're just out here doing this thing, trying to add our voices to the resistance. We are the Punk Rock Garage Band podcast. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.
We have a president in the White House that's been a piece of shit for so long that he has no idea what the fuck he's doing. Thank you for your attention to this matter.